Well, if it isn't my good pal Mitch.
Oh, boy. I'm back.
Wait,
we're back.
We didn't have you last week. It was Mitch and Mike's without Mitch. It was like not 100%. Although did have our buddy Gunner, and so that was a good time.
Did Gunner do a good impression of me?
No, he didn't even try.
What?
I'm a little disappointed.
I wonder, actually, no one does that very often. I wonder how strange I sound to other people.
Well, let me see if I can't. No, I can't. I don't do impressions. I would.
No?
I'll have to work on my Mitch Lashinsky impression. And
You hear me enough, I think.
Yeah, I know. I know you enough. But again, I'm not a chameleon with my voice, so
I see.
I do crazy voices, but I just don't do mimicry very
Specifics.
well. Yeah. So
okay. Well, that's cool. That was fun, and I'm sure everyone's about to see that in 3 days or something like that.
Yeah. Because we record in advance so that we have some in the hopper.
Yeah.
In case something happens like last week where Mitch couldn't get together, but I met with I was at the One Voice conference with our pal Gunner. So we got it. We had a little impromptu podcast in the hotel room there.
Yeah, and I want to get to the conference because that's what today's all about. Is I want to hear about the conference because actually not a lot of people have talked to me about it yet. I was a sickly boy last week. That's why I couldn't get with you. It was my first week of going, I can't sound like me. What the hell do I do with myself? And that was tough because I had more auditions come in than I've had my entire career so far.
Isn't it that way when you can't? It's like when I was having computer problems and they were just coming at me left and right. I'm like, why? Why now?
Yeah, that was a toughie. And I'm like, sorry. I kept going maybe in a couple days and I just wasn't me by the end. Went on a mini vacation for my anniversary.
Yay.
Over the weekend. And
Happy anniversary, dude.
Thank you. 9 years.
Niner.
It's just a baby. They're just a baby couple.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. 9 years.
You shut up, Mike. How long has it been for you?
You could be my son, probably. 34 years. 34 years.
Wow. I could be your son, technically. We look similar. So, what's up, Mike? No, I'm just kidding.
I've never been to Michigan before this year.
That's good. That's good. The eyebrows don't match anyway.
No, I know.
But over the weekend, I got an interesting email. It was from a local producer/director asking me to be in one of his on-camera films.
Oh.
And he's like, hey, what are you doing Monday? And I'm like, I don't have any plans. So today I got to be in my first feature film.
Hey.
I'm going to tell the world right now, I'm not sure how well I did. But, we were pressed for time. It was in a business, and they were wanting to open, and, actors need to do other things, so and I'm more of a voice actor at this point, so we're going to see how that goes. It was so fun, Michael.
Yeah?
Oh,
Can
my
you
gosh.
say what the film is about, or at least what genre it is?
It's, it seems like it's so I only got a portion of the script, and there's not a ton online about it that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like a love triangle or a love gone wrong kind of film where there's a bit of intrigue and maybe a bit of aggression in a scene I'm in.
Are you part of the love triangle?
I am mistaken as part of the love triangle, but I am just a DoorDash guy named Ryan. And yeah, it was super fun, and everybody was really nice, and it was cool being on a set. I'm doing this with quotations. It's an actual set. I don't need to quotation that, but so that was super cool. But so that's what I did today. Hey, you know what you need to follow
What's
to
that?
see more about this, it's Street Films Productions LLC.
Street Films Productions LLC.
Yeah, if my scene doesn't get cut, is in Blindly in Love, but they've created other classics such as Runnin' from Wolves. That's on Tubi that you can watch. And I have to say, when you go into an indie film, you might not know what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
The acting's great. The writing's fun in a sort of scary, heart-poundy sort of way. And yeah, so I highly recommend it. 2 hours and 13 minutes long.
Ooh.
And I'm not paid to plug this. So
No, so this is like free advertising for who is it again? Street
Films Productions LLC.
Street Films Productions LLC.
Yeah, out of
So
somewhere in Michigan.
You're welcome,
probably.
Mr. Films LLC.
Yeah.
For the free plug.
J. Alexander.
J. Alexander.
Mike, enough about me, because
about
I
you.
am so lost
Just
for words.
Yeah,
I'm lost.
apparently.
I'm just lost today. Anyway, I want to know about the conference. I wish I was there.
Yeah, I wish you were there too. Holy smokes, it was so
How
much
did
fun.
it go?
Well, we are talking, of course, about the One Voice Conference that was in Dallas in early August. It's now, what is today, the 19th of August? So this was a couple weekends ago, week and a half ago or so. And it was my very first voiceover conference. And I felt like I was a real voiceover actor.
You are a real boy.
It was amazing.
You're a real boy.
I'm a real boy. Father.
Did you become a real boy or a donkey while you were there?
Yes. No, yeah. I'm a real boy.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, from the moment I showed up, I was like, I don't know what to expect. I didn't even know what to pack. I didn't know what to wear. It's like, how do people dress at these things? So I'm like in my closet Thursday morning. It was in Dallas, so I just had to drive an hour to get there. So I packed in the morning, and I'm like, dress pants? No, I don't feel like that. Jeans shirt. And I ended up grabbing all my goofy, like Star Wars, all the shirts I bought at Buc-ee's. The Roosevelt Star Wars shirt and my Ron Swanson shirt. And I'm like, I'm just going to stand out and I'm going to be me. And it turned out that was a great choice because everyone was there being me. Not me, but being them.
Okay. That would have been weird.
I showed up, and our good pal Gunner, who everybody on the podcast met last week.
Gunner ready.
He and I roomed together, and so showed up, and then he showed up, and I met him, brought him up to the room, and then went back down and we helped out setting up the GVAA booth, because GVAA, Global Voice Acting Academy, was one of the sponsors of OVC. So I got to pal around with David Rosenthal and David Toback and Christina Malizia and Sean Daly. And so it was just fantastic. And then it got time to register. And the whole time it's like, okay, I knew of them. And so I was able to, chat with them, and a couple other people from GVAA were there as well. So I got to, pal around with them a little bit and see them in person and actually get to give them a real hug as opposed to a virtual in a group session hug. And then we got in line, and me and Gunnar were standing in line, and this random person just turns around and is like, "Welcome to One Voice Conference. How are you?" And she gave me the biggest hug. I didn't know who this person was, and I know who she is because I'm hooked up with her on LinkedIn now, but I can't remember exactly who it was, to be honest with you, because that's why my memory works.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to say it was this person. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow. And that just set the tone for the whole weekend, because every person that I met was just so generous with their time, so just easy to talk to, and one of the biggest things for me was I'm a newbie in this industry, right? I haven't had much success, if any at all. I'm just trying to get my feet wet and everything, and from people who are just like me, who are beginning, to people who have been in the industry for 30, 40 years. everybody treated me the same. I'm a peer. And that was amazing to me. It's such a welcoming community. And never have I been in a room or a conference area with so many people who have the same goal, who are all rooting for each other to succeed in this goal, even though they might be competing. Everyone's rooting for each other. And it was pretty doggone amazing.
That's why I love this industry so much.
Yeah.
It almost makes me want to tear up just hearing that hug, that first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was super cool. And then just get it again. I mean, getting to meet people. I had a half-hour conversation with the Kristen Paiva, where I mean, I'll tell you what I did, right? So they had an animation panel. And on this animation panel were the keynote speaker, Eric Bauza, who, if you don't know who Eric Bauza is, he's currently the voice of Bugs Bunny and all those Looney Tunes cartoons. So it's funny because he said he's the sixth person to voice Bugs Bunny, and he's like white guy, Filipino. So, that's his joke, not mine. And but he's just a real genuine guy and was hilarious and everything. And so he's on this panel, and a few others from Kristen Paiva was on as well, because she's casted, basically all your favorite Saturday morning Disney cartoons, from Phineas and Ferb to she did Fairly Odd Parents and some other things too. But
people you met.
Yeah. So at the end of the panel, they took questions, and Gunnar and I, of course, sat front row center because, Gunnar's like, I'm going to be up in the front. I'm like, I'll be right with you. Okay. And so we're sitting there, and at one point, Eric had made a joke about this animation cell that he has from Who Framed Roger Rabbit that has Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse in it. And he made a joke about him being there, and now his house is open, so anyone can go steal it. So I stood up and started to walk out. Haha, funny me. And they all laughed and everything. And so fast forward to when they asked for questions, I got up and I got to the front, and he made a joke about, oh, you going to get my stuff? And I just stood up, and I'm like, yeah, what's your address? And so they got a kick out of me, which was great. Right. And so I started asking them, look, for a guy like me, because they all have stories where he started in animation, he actually started drawing, and he was and like Christina Malizia was on it, and she, her mom was a voiceover actor, and so she got it, and everybody kind of had that story where they had an in. And for someone like me who doesn't have an in, I'm like, what is your best advice for what I should do? And Kristen said, you're doing it. And so I just immediately, I whipped out a business card, and I ran up to the front and I threw it at her. Of course, it's a business card, so it went.
Yeah.
So it was a good moment. I handed it to her, and she kept it. But later on in the conference, I think it was later that night, before they had some karaoke and some other things, and I ran into her, and we talked for like a half an hour. It was great. And I really got encouraged there, because again, I'm like, she's like, what are your dreams? What are your goals? And I said, I want to do what you cast. I want to be in animation. My goal, my dream is that I'm in a children's cartoon, and I can show it to my grandkids and go, that's your pa.
Yeah. And
she's like, Kristen is, she's funny. She's very crass. Mm-hmm. So she just looked at me and she said, just effing do it. Except she didn't say effing, and she just kept saying that, and I'm like, yeah, and I was getting hyped at everything. So it was a cool moment, and that was probably one of the highlights of the conference for me.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of panels, you said. Was there any like smaller room coaching or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, there was. They had panels. They had what they call breakout sessions, where 2 or 3 offered every hour. And some of them were specific to commercials, and some of them were specific to there's an improv guy that did a thing. There was one of them. Gunnar and I got to talking to this guy and this woman from an advertising agency who were doing a panel the following day, and we got to talking to them and had a great conversation with them. And I forget what it is I brought up, but he's like, I'm going to remember that. And we got in his session, and he started talking about the things he looks for when they cast. And he's like, and I was talking to Mike yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I got called out. Nice.
Yeah, that's
so. And so, that fostered a good relationship. And he ended up sending both Gunnar and I an email saying, hey, send me your demos. So
nice.
That was a cool connection.
It seems so, like, fluid. Like, you're just talking, and then it's this, and then it's that. It's not like the hard sell, as they say, don't do that. But it doesn't seem like anyone wants to anyway, because you're just chatting with other humans.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like I was chatting with this guy because he is the director of, of casting at this advertising agency. I was talking to him because he was standing there having a beer next to the drink cart, and I walked up, and we were just, at that point I was in the mode where I was made to feel comfortable, so I was talking to everybody. I didn't know anybody. I knew Gunnar, and I knew Jackie, and Michaela, and I knew from GVAA. I knew the Davids and Sean from GVAA, and that's it. So I was getting to know people, and so we just happened to start chatting with these people, and it was a great connection. And so it was very organic, very natural, and very open to talking. Everyone was like that, and that's where I say it was just I felt so at home, and I felt so welcomed in the community. I was walking by this one guy, and he have you seen Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
The show Ted Lasso.
Oh,
so this guy had a haircut. He looked like what's his name? Krim, the Independent. I can't think of his first name all of a sudden.
Chet, is it?
No.
Brett?
Now I can't remember, and it's really sad.
Trent. It's Trent, I think.
Trent. Yeah, Trent Grimm. Independent. Yeah. So I just walked by. I literally just walked by and kind of leaned over to him like, Trent Grimm, Independent, and kept walking. And he turned and he laughed and he said, and he was British, and I didn't know he was British. He's like, that's hilarious. I've never heard that before. I'm like, really? He said, no, I hear it all the time. And we had a nice little laugh, a little moment. And then so I'm like, so I took one step. The guy turns from the conversation he was in to me and Gunnar, and just talked to us for 15 minutes. Just
nice.
Organically was drawn to us, and we had a great conversation. And ran into him several times afterwards. Like, hey, and now you know people, and so
right.
It was just neat. Everyone was like that. No one was shying away from conversation. No one was shying away from, I don't know this person. This person
right.
is not established in the industry. Why should I talk to him?
Would you call yourself an introvert or an outrovert? Is that a outro?
I am an extroverted introvert.
Okay.
Because
so
here's the thing. I could easily be a hermit. All right. I love my house, and that is my favorite place in the world, is to be at home, in sweat shorts and a t-shirt and not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But when I'm out in that environment, I love to talk to people.
Yeah.
So
okay, so you can turn it on, and you enjoy turning it on when you're in the environment.
Yes.
Did you feel, I've heard it can be a little draining. It's just so many people. You're meeting so many people. Like by the end of the day, you're maybe crashing, or by the end of the weekend, you're like, who am I?
Yeah. There was some of that. I mean, by Sunday, we were just like, a bunch of us were sitting having breakfast, and it's like, yeah, I don't want this to end, but at the same time, I'm really ready to go home. And like Gunnar got sick. He went home, and I don't know if he caught something on the plane or if he caught something at the con.
We'll say it's
I know,
the plane.
Talking to a couple other people, they weren't feeling well at the end, and some of that is just
all that hugging,
all the talking, and all the yeah, because you're hugging people. Thankfully, even though I roomed with them, I didn't get sick. So sorry,
right.
Gunnar. I'm sure I'm glad you didn't give me what you got. But
we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it because we don't like talking about getting sick and getting the crud, getting.
I got the crud. I weren't even there. I think Gunnar sent it to me. He sent me a postcard covered in crud.
Yeah, he sent you a text, and in that text was crud.
Yeah, it was like a bug, but it was within the text encrypted.
It was encrypted. It was out in the interwebs, and it somehow made its way to you, sir.
It was
You
like
got
that
you,
movie,
shit.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
We tried, okay.
I don't know. We get it. We get in these moods. That's
Yeah. All the time, constantly.
Whether we're talking to each other or we're talking to ourselves, we're always in just a strange mood.
Yeah. Yeah, even on set today, I was like kind of being odd. It felt a little serious. I'm like, I need to turn up the weird a little bit.
Yeah.
It just turns up. But, okay, so I'm continuously getting more and more jealous of your time there.
Should have been there, man. Oh, so good.
So, it sounds amazing. What are little delicious nuggets you could give to me and the listeners that you learned about conferences or VO, or really just the big takeaways?
Well, one of the big takeaways for me was just that there is no one cookie cutter solution to having success in this industry. And that was at the same time comforting and scary. Because, I went there and I'm hoping like, all right, I'm going to get some direction and fix what I'm not doing right. And I didn't really get that. I got a lot of advice. I got a lot of encouragement, and I did definitely get a lot from the sessions and just from talking to people, and confidence-wise as well. It was a big confidence booster. But so many people are doing so many different things. There was one guy I talked to. He makes 6 figures a year on Fiverr. What?
Yeah. I met another friend like that recently.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to talk. I might not want to talk about it because some people are weird about going on Fiverr. It's like, make your money.
So, yeah, I mean, however it works for you, it works for you. And then the probably the biggest takeaway that I took, and it was said in many different ways and by many different people, but one person summed it up on, she made a person that I met, I connected with her, and then she made a post on LinkedIn about, one of the things she learned, and it was really, and it was stupid simple. It's stupid simple. Just be yourself. So many times I'm in this booth and I'm trying to do a read, and I'm trying to, okay, they want smooth, and and maybe they want this, and I don't know if they want, and if I would just be myself and put myself out there, and be a little different, I might have more success. That's one of the things that this director of marketing was saying, is that he will, because so much, they listen to so many of these. It's like, he said, I hate to admit it, but there are those where it's like, hi, I'd like to sell, click. Hi, I'd like to sell, click. Hi, they all sound the same. And then the one guy that goes, so you know what? I'd like to, and sounds a little bit different. That's the guy he's going to listen to. And so, I'm trying to do that in my audition since last week, where it's like, all right, I'm not gonna worry so much about, the minutia of the spec of okay, they're looking for this type of voice.
Yeah.
I got to put some of me in there, even if it's me doing, soft and subtle or conversational or whatever. It's still got to be me, and I have to find that in every audition that I do. And so again, I mean, that was both comforting and scary, because sometimes I don't trust me enough. And we've said this before. It's like, when I started, that was what I had to get over. And that's what David Rosenthal put me over the hump of, trusting my own voice.
Yeah.
But we still get in that mode sometimes where we record something and it just, it just doesn't feel right, because I'm trying too hard or something. So,
yeah. So be you.
Be you.
That's an amazing takeaway. It's something that obviously we need to be told 1,000 times daily. by the hour. I mean, I forget constantly while I'm auditioning. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're starting to sound like everybody else, bud.
Mm-hmm.
I talk kind of strange. Well, I think I speak strange, talk strange.
You have a different cadence at times, yes.
Yeah.
I will
Most
say that,
of it
and
is
that's good.
because I forget what I'm about to say. So there's this big pause, or I'm taking
Squirrel.
in whatever you. Hey. I didn't see it. Yeah. So I mean, that's amazing. I'm glad. Hopefully, that one resonates even more because you went there and you saw it constantly. You saw it working the whole time. You being you, wearing what you wanted, worked.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. I'd be scared.
And me being me drew people to me.
Right.
That was, because sometimes I feel like, I've had, I grew up with an inferiority complex. Let's be honest. And so sometimes there are other times where you feel like people aren't going to like me, or people don't like, or whatever. And so to get in this place where every person I talked to from top to bottom was, I never felt like, there were a few people where it's like, yeah, I don't need to talk to that person again. And I'm sure somebody talked to me and was like, I don't need to talk to that person again.
Yeah.
But outwardly, I mean, it was, everybody I talked to was just open and cool and, wanted to have conversations. So
that's so exciting.
It was very cool.
Is there anything else I need to know, Mike, before we get, I get the itch, and not.
Uh-oh.
It's not crabs. It's the acting itch.
Well, that's good. That would be awkward. I'm getting the itch.
It's something else.
But I've got a salve for it.
A salve.
Got a salve.
Salve.
I just gotta put it on the area 4 times a day, and I stop getting the itch.
There's no salve for my acting itch.
No.
I have to let it out. So
let's let it out, man. Let's let out that acting itch.
Okay, we're going to break and figure out what the heck we're doing. And then,
as we do.
And be back.
And we'll be back. All right, we got a good one for you this time.
Oh, boy.
Just the title alone. Man, I know it's only August, but we are channeling Halloween.
Yeah.
And we are doing a ChatGPT roulette entitled Monsters of Ineptitude.
Ineptitude.
All right, let me set the scene for you.
Mm-hmm.
My best Vincent Price. A dimly lit cave with cobwebs hanging from the ceiling. 2 monsters, Gorg and Blarg, sit on a couple of rocks, looking dejected. Gorg is a green, scaly creature with tiny wings, and Blarg is a fuzzy purple beast with 1 eye and an oversized mouth.
Man, Blarg, I just don't get it. We've tried everything, and nothing seems to work.
I know, Gorg. Remember last week when I tried to scare those hikers by mimicking a bear growl?
Oh, yeah, and ended up giving you a granola bar and asking for directions.
I told them I was lost in the woods, too.
Classic. Don't get me started on the time I tried the spooky ghost routine. I used a bedsheet and everything.
Oh, yeah. You look like a ghost who was also a laundry disaster. I thought they were going to offer you a detergent coupon.
I tried using a fog machine once. It made a thick cloud, but I tripped over it and got stuck. It was a part of a haunted house attraction.
Oh, man. And then there was the scream of terror.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I ended up just sounding like a cat in a blender.
That was priceless. I thought they were going to call animal control.
Oh, what are we going to do, Gorg? Maybe we're just not cut out for scaring people, huh?
Oh, you know what?
What?
maybe we should embrace it.
Embrace it.
Let's be the friendliest monsters around.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
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 We could give out candy and play games instead of scaring people. How about a monster trivia night, huh?
Oh, perfect. And we'll wear costumes of our favorite heroes. It'll be a monster mash.
Oh, wow. Who knew we'd end up being the least scary monsters in history, huh?
Oh, and it will be the most fun monsters in history.
Yeah.
High five.
Yeah. Ow. Ow. That hurt. God.
Sorry.
Ow.
Oh, we fumbled
monsters,
our way
but not
through the
really.
end there.
Yeah.
Man, that was fun.
Good times.
After a week of not voice acting, that was a gorgeous re-entry.
Yes. And as always, Mitch, I love doing the voices with you.
Yes, sir. And forevermore?
Always
Are we
and
going to have an
forever.
anniversary, Mike?
Always and forever. What?
Are we going to have a 9-year anniversary one day?
Someday we'll have a 9-year anniversary, yes. Yes.
All right, well, until next time.
Until next time, we'll see you on the flip side, boys and girls.
That's our outro now.
Yeah. Bye.